Now, as I said, I use OneDrive, but I have a bit of a bugbear with it, and I'm going to talk about that and show you a workaround. So when I use OneDrive on my computers, I use Windows and Mac. I install the OneDrive app, and I set it up and everything. And what I have in File Explorer or in Finder on the Mac, I have a local folder called OneDrive, which contains whatever OneDrive contents I've told it to contain. So I can set it up as a full sync. I can set it up to show shortcuts to the online files, and I can set it to store files and folders offline on the device, whether that's the Windows PC or the Mac. On the Android phone, it doesn't quite work like that. I can go in and download individual files or folders, but that's a bit of a pain. They'll go into the downloads folder, but you can't do it with the whole OneDrive thing, and you can't sync, obviously. You're downloading a snapshot. You can go in and mark a OneDrive folder or file for offline use, and that means it is available on the device. What OneDrive does then, though, is store it in a cache folder, which only it or a file manager or media playing cloud app like CloudBeats Pro can see. So let's say if you have another app that you want to be able to see media on your device, like, I don't know, Smart Audio Book Player, it can't see the OneDrive files you've marked for offline storage, even though you've marked them for offline storage. To me, this makes the offline storage feature pretty pointless in the OneDrive Android app. Happily, though, there is a little app. It's not free, by the way, but I like it, so I'm going to show you anyway. It's called autosync. I'm going to just open it up now. I'm not going to show you much of it. I'll show you 2 of its 4 tabs.
Personal apps list. Search. BBC Sounds. Pro Audio Recorder. Pro Authentic. AutoSync. As one notification. Column 5.
Here it is.
Overview. Sync now. Out of print.
I'll show you the tabs at the bottom first of all.
Selected. Overview. Tab.
That's the bottom left-hand tab. That will show you basically what's going on, the status and everything else.
Activity. Tab. 2 or 4.
That'll give you a chronological view of what it's done.
4. Tab. 4 folders. Tab. 3 or 4.
The folders tab I'll come to last. This is where you create the syncs you want it to have.
4. Tab. 4 or 4.
And this is the More tab. I'm going to go in here.
4. Selected. AutoSync. AutoSync. Out of list. Cloud storage accounts in list. Double tap to activate.
So I'll show you this. This is the cloud storage accounts. As I say, I use OneDrive, but I'll show you this first.
Cloud storages. Navigate up. Button. Out of cloud storages. OneDrive. Edward Green. Or Green 1981 at Gmail. Unlabeled. Button. Add account. Button.
So I could go and add an account here.
Navigate up. AutoSync. Cloud storage accounts. And settings. Double tap to activate.
We'll go into settings briefly. I'll only show you one section of the settings, and that's the sync settings.
Settings. Navigate up. Settings. More options. Button. Synchronization. And list.
Go in here.
Synchronization. Navigate. Synchronization. While connected to Wi-Fi. Edit and list. Upload file size limit. No limit. Download file size limit. No limit. While connected to mobile network. Upload file size limit. No limit. Download file size limit. No limit.
I have an unlimited mobile connection, so I'm happy with this. In fact, I only have mobile connections.
Or if sync on mobile network. Ask user to confirm before manual sync on mobile network. Not hit. Tick box. After sync errors. Edit. Try again automatically for both manual and automatic sync. Wait before each attempt. 5 minutes. Max number of attempts. 1 time. Automatic background sync. Edit.
So it has different data settings for its automatic sync. I can initiate a manual sync, which is what those data settings had to do with. Here, we can decide if we want it to do things in the background.
Enable auto sync. Monitor folders and sync in background. On. Switch. The battery saving method in your device may affect automatic sync. More info on our website. Auto sync interval. 1 hour. Only while device is charging. Not hit. Tick box. Battery level must be at least 15%.
So if you're worried about syncing on low battery, if you're rationed and can't get near a charge, you can set that much higher. So I think by default it's set to 50%. If your battery drops below 50%, it won't sync in the background.
Internet connection. Using Wi-Fi and mobile data.
So for background sync, you might want to keep an eye on that if you aren't on an unlimited connection. So here you can set it to Wi-Fi only if you want.
Allowed on metered Wi-Fi. Tick box. Allowed Wi-Fi net. Disallowed Wi-Fi networks. Allowed on mobile roaming. Should auto sync be enabled on data mobile roaming? Not ticked. Tick box.
Do you want it to sync while you're abroad? Probably not.
Instant upload. Detect new / modified files and device and try to upload them instantly. Tick box. Navigate up. Button up. Settings. Synchronization. And list.
So we'll come out of settings. There's nothing else I want to show you in here today.
Synchronization. Navigate up. Auto sync. Settings. And list. I have license.
So I said it wasn't a free app. So I'll go and show you how you buy an app license if you want to, and the different sorts of things you can buy.
I have license. Navigate up. I have license. All inclusive subscription. All features unlocked. All app updates included. Priority email support. Cancel anytime with Google Play. Subscribe £2.99/month.
So if you have a lot of cloud storage accounts, this might be quite good value. I'll show you how many it supports in a minute.
Lifetime licenses. Tap on the item you want to buy. These purchases are not subscriptions. Choose them if you prefer one-time payments.
So there's no one-time payment for the entire app. If you want a one-time payment, it has to be for the cloud storage services.
Sync with OneDrive. Purchased and list.
I think that cost me £6. We'll go and see if some of the other ones are in a minute. But it also supports
Sync with Google Drive. Sync with Dropbox. Sync with Box. Sync with Meta. Sync with Cloud. Sync with Yandex.disk. Sync with OwnCloud/NetSplit. Sync with WebDAV. Sync with LAN/SMB. Sync with FTP/SFTP. Subscriptions and purchases are associated with your Google account and are not shareable with other users. They are valid for all your Android.
So it's got a few different ones. I'm going to go into Google Drive and see how much it is.
Sync with WebDAV. Sync with OwnCloud. Sync with Yandex. Sync with Cloud. Sync with Meta. Sync with Box. Sync with Dropbox. Sync with Google Drive. Google Play Store. 0%. Progress bar. Out of list. Sync with Google Drive. Auto sync. File sync and backup. Current price £6.99. Text. Navigation bar. Back. Button.
So you can either pay £2.99 a month or whatever that is in your local currency, or as you heard, £6.99 for lifetime Google Drive. That's all I want to show you in the More tab. I'm now going to show you the Folder tab where the action or where you create your folder pairings. As I said, this will sync between a local folder on your device and a folder on your cloud storage. You can obviously make that the entire cloud storage if you want to, or you can pick specific subfolders. I'm not going to create a folder pair, but I'll show you what it looks like.
Activity. Overview. Unlabeled. Button. Over. Active. Selected. Folders.
I did select the folder tab.
Out of list. Sync now. Enable auto sync and list. On. Switch. /audiobooks. Unlabeled. On. Switch. Unlabeled. Plus. Button. Out of list.
So there are a couple of unlabeled buttons. The plus symbol, I think, is pretty universal as an ad. So even though it could be better labeled, hopefully everyone knows what it is. It's the one that says unlabeled plus.
Folder pair. Navigate up. Button. Folder pair. Save. More options. Button. Folder pair name. Optional. Edit box. Double tap.
So we can call that folder something. You could put Ed's documents, or you can leave it blank.
Remote folder in cloud storage. Required. Edit box. Double tap to edit text. Double tap with hold to long press. Editing options available. Use swipe up then right of view.
So this looks like an edit box, but if we double tap it, it'll actually bring up a tree view of our OneDrive folders.
Select remote folder. Navigate up. Button. Select remote folder. My files. And list. Shared with me. Cancel. Button. Select. Button. Disabled.
I'll go to My Files.
Cancel. Share. My files. Navigate up. Button. Select new folder. My files. Go up and list 2021-0 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 apps. ATI JAWS and ATI Microsoft.
These are all my OneDrive files. I don't need to select it. I'm going to come out.
Folder pair. Required. Edit box. Local folder and device. Required. Edit box.
Here's where you set the folder you want it to sync to. I'll do it again.
Select local folder. Navigate up.
You'll see it wasn't actually an edit box.
Select local new folder.
You can create the folder from here, which is really handy. It doesn't already have to exist. We'll back out of there.
Folder pair. Required. Navigate up. Button. Folder pair. Save. More folder option. Remote. Required. Local folder and device. Required. Sync method. Drop down menu. Tick. Exclude hidden files. Tick box. Drop down menu.
So sync method. This is quite important. you can choose how it syncs, a little bit like you can in contact moving apps if you want to. I'll show you some of this, although it's good to understand what they all do before you choose one. Two-way is a traditional sync. Make changes on one device, it's reflected on the other. Doesn't matter which device you make changes on.
Upload only. Double tap the toggle.
So you don't want it to download anything. It'll just upload stuff.
Upload and delete. Double tap the toggle.
Fairly self-explanatory. You're taking stock photos on your phone. You've not got much memory. Upload it and then kill it on the phone.
Upload here. Upload only. Upload and delete. Upload here.
So you've got download only, download then delete. Similar things. If your OneDrive's getting full, it could delete them from the OneDrive when it's downloaded. Then you have your mirrors, upload and download mirror. They will mirror whatever the current state is on the other device. Be a bit careful here because, if you've selected upload or download mirror, so it's mirroring the OneDrive thing on your phone, say. If you go and delete something off your phone, it'll immediately go and download it again because it's mirroring what's on your OneDrive. So be careful with your mirrors. There's more about this in the help section. It tells you what each of those do. So it's a really powerful syncing app that will let you sync between a number of cloud storages and between local folders on your device.
Neat. Ed, thanks for that demonstration. I haven't played with that particular app. There was one I used to use whose name I no longer remember, but it was something similar to this.
And if anyone knows of any free apps, do please let me know. It's not too bad for me because I only use OneDrive, but it could kind of get expensive if you use lots of cloud storage apps.
I think the one that I'm talking about, though, had a one-time payment, and it's not like this one that you have to pay for each individual cloud storage. I think that can get a little bit expensive.
Or it's got the $3 subscription or the £3 subscription if you don't want to do that. Yeah, whichever way you do it. But it's nice. It's ad-free. It's uncluttered. But yeah, if you remember what yours is, then let's all switch to that. But no, it solved the bugbear I was having, which was becoming even more annoying than at the time that Windows 11 is now.
So the whole idea about cloud storages is the idea that I want to be able to save my stuff up there in the cloud and to free my phone's memory, and also to be able to access that cloud storage on other devices. These are probably the two most important part of a cloud storage, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think so, and security is important as well on the cloud storage. I think what I would say about cloud storage is don't rely on it 100%. It's all very well. We think we're paying for storage. We've got comeback, but there've been pretty notable, high-profile business outages of quite well run, well protected business cloud servers, and companies have found themselves in trouble. The old thing about keeping 3 physical backups, one of them ideally in at least 2 different locations, I think for critical data probably still holds true. Cloud storage is convenient. Do use it particularly for stuff you need to access across devices, but don't think it removes the need for physical backups. I don't think it does.
Right, and I mean, if you use backup long enough, you're going to run into an incident where you lose something. I know I would say I have this problem every maybe 3 or 4 years. I lose something, so it's always good to have backup on a thumb drive or in hard copy or something.
and I happen to be one of those boys. Kind of, keep something on my hard drive, rather on my external drive, or this is where those of you guys with SD card slots, come in handy for you guys. And back in the days that I had an SD card slot, I used to put some of my stuff that I don't want to be on the cloud there, because sometimes I guess maybe a little bit of a paranoia on my side. But there are certain things absolutely I don't want to be out there on the cloud. And so I put those things on like a hard drive elsewhere. I have maybe multiple hard drives, and you'll find those things all across those other hard drives, just in case something happens to the other one. So I can see this usage in both cases because it makes sense to have certain things in the cloud. So I'm traveling somewhere, I could access those easily. And that's where the beauty comes in.
Yeah, and not all cloud storage apps are created or services are created equal when it comes to security. Mega is probably about the most secure we've demonstrated today, but there are other ones. And all I'd say about multiple physical backups, if you are someone who uses multiple external hard drives, don't buy the same brand. Obviously, if you're not using, I'm not advocating necessarily the use of multiple physical drives. If you don't do that already, I'm not saying move to it. What I'm saying is, if you do it, vary the manufacturer of your drives. So you've got, I don't know, one Seagate, one Samsung, one Elements, one whoever else, in case you wind up with a problem where actually there's something that's caused one manufacturer's hardware to fail.
That's an interesting scenario, Ed. And, actually, I wound up doing that without even thinking of it that way. But I think that totally makes sense. I have different manufacturers from SanDisk to Western, what is that?
Western Digital.
Western
I've got
Digital.
a WD, NAS drive, Mirror.
And then I have something called
FreeCom.
FreeGate, or I don't remember.
I had a FreeCom, it died. I wasn't very happy with it.
So I have maybe like 5 or so different external drives, from those that fit in your pocket to, one that's a little bit on the bigger side, maybe like 3 or 4 inches long, or maybe I said 6 inches long, like a phone. And so it all ranges from like 600 to 6 TB. I have all of those. Of course, then I have the thumb drives as well. So that's over a lot of things going on here. Yeah,
it's interesting. You didn't know the size, because I showed my hard drive and claimed it was 12 inches, and someone told me it was 6.
But yeah, it really makes sense. I never thought
As
of
a
it
woman,
like
I
you
will
put
be
it.
silent.
At least you got it.
But it sure does make sense not to rely on one brand just in case something happens. So there's an inherent something about that particular brand that kind of messes up your stuff. So it really makes sense. Try to diversify it a little bit.
Always have a failover.